Over the past decade, the black male image has been associated with violence, aggression, and poverty. We have been portrayed as violent bums, while at the same time being monetized for entertainment purposes. Black culture and black men specifically have broken rule number 25 of the 48 Laws of Power. Do not accept the roles that society foists on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never bores the audience. Be the master of your own image. Not only have we accepted the roles and stereotypes society has forced on us, we have glorified it and desired to become that. In this video, we will discuss the ABCDs of image: appearance, behavior, communication, and digital footprint. Appearance, or the way something or someone looks. The first step in restoring our image is the way that we dress ourselves and how we present ourselves to the world. Beginning with a nuanced fashion choice like sagging pants, which itself has horrible roots, originating from disproportionately high numbers of black men being incarcerated and being issued oversized uniforms, sometimes 2 to 3 sizes too big, and not being allowed belts because of the suicide risk, which eventually trickled down into a larger portion of society. To further illustrate my point on the idea of fashion affecting image, let's rewind back to the civil rights movement. The early 1950s, blacks marched the streets of Selma, fighting for their right to be free and equal citizens, and to be treated fairly like everyone else. Blacks were hosed down and attacked like dogs. One could almost say treated like animals. But there's one small detail that people often forget about the civil rights movement: the fashion choices of those who decided to protest and risk their lives in the street. The clothes they wore were often described as church clothes. Men wearing suits and women wearing dresses. A suit a sign of success and respect, and a dress a sign of dignity and respect. Even at that time, those protesters understood the importance of image and what your clothing says about you and what it conveys to the world. And they understood that to be taken seriously and respected as people, that they needed to look like people because they didn't want to be treated like animals. The first step in reshaping our image as a community, and especially as black men, is to make a conscious decision to stop dressing like thugs and to dress ourselves like respectable citizens so that we might be treated like respectable citizens and not seen as a violent problem. Behavior, the way in which one acts or conducts oneself, especially towards others. It is especially important for me as a black man to consider the way that I behave. According to research published by the American Psychological Association, people have a tendency to perceive black men as larger and more threatening than similar-sized white men. Whether we like that association or not, it is imperative that we take the necessary steps to fight against the notion that black men are bigger and more violent and more dangerous. Yesterday, Takeoff, 1/3 of the Migos, was hit by a stray bullet in an altercation over a dice game. A simple dice game. This is indicative of the image of the black man. Homicides are the leading cause of death among young black men. And in 80 to 90% of those cases, both the victim and the attacker were black, therefore ruining 2 lives, the attacker and the deceased. The deceased is no longer here to enjoy his life, and the attacker now is going to be incarcerated for probably 15 to 20 to 30 years, effectively ending the lives of 2 black men. There is no simple solution for this problem except for us to individually do better and to do our own part in not practicing the behaviors that lead us to this point. Communication, the imparting or exchanging of information. Many in the black community will shame you for using the English language properly. Just this weekend, I was talking to a vendor at an event I was working at. We were having a casual conversation, and his daughter asked me a question that I've been asked many times before. She asked me why I talk so proper. And in that moment, I didn't even know how to answer that question. And I wasn't offended, but more just disappointed by the fact that she sees me, a black man, talking proper, and it almost feels like we're 2 different people. Keep in mind, this girl couldn't have been more than 13, and she noticed this distinction between me and her, that she talks a certain way and that I talk a certain way. And I think that the way that a lot of us speak is just uneducated, and it makes people not have respect for us as a person. And I think it's up to us to decide that we're going to talk like educated people. After all, poor communication is at the root of a lot of altercations. Take, for example, Takeoff from the Migos. Could that situation have been solved civilly? Did it really have to resort to violence if proper communication had been practiced? That situation didn't have to end like that. But oftentimes, young black men, like me, like anybody watching, fall victim to poor communication and end up making permanent choices. And honestly, I encourage everyone watching this video not to be ashamed that you know how to communicate properly. Don't be ashamed that you sound white or you sound proper, because that's the proper way to communicate. Finally, digital footprint. The information about a particular person that exists on the internet as a result of their online activity. In the year 2022, the internet has connected the entire world, making your digital footprint a critical part of your identity. Once you put something on the internet, it is there forever. Let's take popular rapper Pooh Shiesty for example. Investigators said that they linked cash to the rapper by matching the full serial number on one of the recovered bills to a $100 bill shown on his Instagram account days before the alleged robbery. This is only one example of the numerous misuses of your digital footprint and the reckless ignorance of how your digital footprint can actually affect your life. The misuse of the internet and social media has caused so many problems in the black community. And I just want to say to anybody watching this video, be careful what you post. Be careful who you're with when you post and where you are when you post, because all of that information is permanent. Once you hit upload, once you hit send, and it goes out into the internet, you can never bring it back, no matter how hard you try. Look at how many people have been canceled or killed because of a bad social media post. One more example of the dangers of the digital footprint is Pop Smoke, a rising star in the rap community. Pop Smoke was murdered in an armed robbery caused by the accidental leaking of an address via Instagram. This just goes to show how important it is that we don't misuse the internet and social media, especially as black men, because we already have so many other negative factors attached to us that we really don't need another one. These are some of the ways that we can reinvent our image and reinvent the way that society sees us, and hopefully one day we can have society respect us as people, because right now we're being monetized, used, glorified, and we're reaping none of the benefits of it. The only benefit that we're having is a little bit of fame, but it's not doing anything for the black community as a whole. So if you love the video, like it. If you hate the video, dislike it. Either way, let me know why in the comments.